Hello, welcome to Working Help Desk Tickets with Kobuman. Today we're going to concentrate on Outlook. But why is that? Well, Outlook is one of the most popular email clients out there because Microsoft is just huge and companies still are using it. And for those reasons, there's always something new that comes up. And in this video, we're going to concentrate on many different issues that may cause problems with Outlook. All right, let's get into it. There's a lot to cover. But what you're looking for here is, oh wow, this actually works. Look at this. No way. Is this a real? This is just a pure guess. Look at this. It's a real server that I just pinged. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Kobuman. Welcome to another session for training on help desk tickets. And in this video, we're going to concentrate on Outlook. You know, Outlook has a lots of different issues, many different issues. And for those reasons, we're going to concentrate on Outlook today. And also we have quite a few tickets that are Outlook related. Remember in the previous video, I decided to actually skip over a couple of them. They were consecutive tickets on Outlook, mainly because I talked about Outlook in pretty much every other video that we had in regards to tickets that come through. In this case, we have multiple tickets for Outlook, so we're going to concentrate on Outlook today, which is great because a lot of companies use Outlook. Some companies are switching over to using Google Suite, which is like Gmail and this and that, but a lot of companies, or I'd say probably majority companies, are still using Microsoft Outlook, which is perfectly great because you guys will be doing these type of jobs or maybe are already working on them. Before we start, just like in the classroom, please in the comments below just say hi, hello, or present. That way I know people are still watching and interested in these type of videos. If you want to submit a ticket to this system where you are asking me to help you with something or just have a question in regards to something, I will put a link to this ticketing system under the very first comment that is pinned by me. So the first comment that's pinned by Kobuman will have a link to this ticketing system, and if you want to submit a ticket, please do so. I really appreciate it. That way we can keep these videos going. All right, thank you so much. Also, thank you to people who subscribe to my second channel. Remember guys, I said in the previous video that the second channel of mine will have a broken down different issues with solutions that are based off of these videos, so that way it can be used as a knowledge base in case somebody has an issue that they need a quick fix for. Eventually that second channel is going to have all of these individual issues, so you can just go to the channel, do a search, and chances are you will have a solution for it in a video format and narrated by yours truly. all right, enough of that. Let's get into it. Outlook issue, first ticket from Madhuri Sanap. Thank you for submitting tickets. It just says Outlook issue, and it says here in description, my all emails in Outlook automatically going to deleted items folder in Outlook. Kindly assist as soon as possible. Now, just so you know, and I don't mean anything bad by this, I know Madhuri said ASAP, meaning as soon as possible, in the sense that, you know, he knows that it will take me a while to get to these because I work on these tickets in my free time. But just a kind of a tip from the personal experience, from what I've seen, when a user puts in as soon as possible in the ticket, that may actually take a little bit longer to fix because nobody, you know, there's no rush when it comes to things. People don't want to be rushed is what I'm trying to say. So just a kind of quick tip of previous experience that I've seen. So avoid using things like ASAP, but I know this was meant in a good faith, so no problem here at all. Thank you, Madhuri, for submitting this ticket. So here we go. My all emails in Outlook automatically go into deleted items folder in Outlook. So the first thing that comes to mind when something is disappearing in Outlook or something that is being moved to different folders and this and that, that main thing that comes up to me in my mind is rules inside of Outlook. So here is Outlook. I already have it open because I knew I was going to have to talk about Outlook quite a bit today. And the rules are set up in such way, most likely in Outlook, that, and not just Outlook, any other email client, email software, email website, rules are used to do exactly what we just talked about, meaning to move the email to something else, to delete the email, to just do something else, and that rules are set up in such way. So what am I talking about here? Let me show you visually. If you go to settings here, And by the way, I don't like the way this is set up in Outlook. The first thing that comes up when you click on the settings icon right here, the first thing that comes up is the look of the things. Like, I guess the main thing that users care about is how their Outlook looks like, but what we are looking for is actually on the very bottom, and we're looking for the actual settings that we can use as tech support, which is down here, all the way down here as the last thing. And obviously they don't want users to mess with this stuff unless they know how to do it, right? Here it is, view all settings, view all Outlook settings. To me, it's really odd to have the look and the theme of the Outlook as the first thing. I guess it makes sense somewhat, but not as somebody who does tech support, right? So here are rules. The fourth option down is rules. If we select rules, it tells you right here, you can create rules to tell Outlook to handle incoming email messages. That's exactly what I talked about. So how do you want to, or you can set up to handle emails in a specific way. You can set up custom folder and you can say emails labeled as such, move them to this folder with this label. And the same thing can be done to delete, to archive, this and that. So you can set up this rule that will do this, sort of like you're doing mini programming of your Outlook for your own benefit, for your own preferences. So it says here, you choose both the conditions, the trigger, you choose both the conditions that trigger and rule the actions that rule will take. And I'll show you how this is done. Rule will run in order shown in the list below, starting with the rule at the top. So if you create multiple rules, the rule that is on top will run in order shown below. So if you have a rule that does something below it and it cannot do it, that could be the reason, because you have a rule that's on top causing the problem for that second rule. So that's something to keep in mind if you have multiple rules. And I'll show you here in a second what we mean. All right, let's create a new rule. And that's simply done by clicking on Add New Rule right here. And we're going to name it. So in this case, let's recreate what's going on here. It says, all emails in Outlook automatically go into deleted items folder in Outlook. So let's see if we can recreate. And we're going to say delete all. That's what we're going to name this rule, this little programming thing that we're going to do inside of Outlook. And we're going to select a condition, which is under number 2. We're going to select condition, and we can say, we're going to say apply to all messages, which is very, very bottom right here, since we're talking about all messages. But if you want, you can specify many different conditions, many different scenarios to your liking and to your preferences. There are so many things you can do here, that there are so many rules and custom rules that you can create. They can create all kinds of awesome things for you, make your job easier, or it can literally ruin your Outlook, which I've seen before. So many things. You can literally do it by keyword. And all right, let's do what we said to do. So we're going to say apply to all messages. So all messages that come through this programming, this rule, will make changes to it. So in this case, we're recreating here, all emails in Outlook automatically go into deleted items folder in Outlook. So we're going to do that. We're going to say an action. So under 3, we're going to select an action. We're going to tell it to do what? First, we told it add condition, and we said apply to all messages. And then add an action, and then it's asking what kind of action do you want to do to all messages, and we're going to select delete. Okay, and then you can add more conditions, or you can add more actions if you want. And then once you do this, you can apply the rule to everything that's in your inbox right away. So if you want to set up so that some emails, some specific emails that are coming with specific titles, you can run those right away, and it will move them to a specific folder that you create. And we can certainly do that. I'll show you another example. But here's what we are recreating for this ticket. All emails in Outlook automatically go into deleted items folder in Outlook. And I'm going to click save. So here it is. This rule is enabled. I can disable it just like this. And if you're doing troubleshooting and you see something like this, you can disable all the rules and see which ones are actually doing this. But here's the one. If my message arrives in inbox, delete the messages and stop processing more rules on this message. And we can run that rule right now, which will delete everything and put it into deleted folder. So this is what I think is happening with your question here. We have a rule that automatically deletes all emails and puts them into the deleted folder. So I'm going to delete it because it's a stupid rule, right? It's a stupid, useless rule. Otherwise, why would you even have email, right? Here is another one that we're going to create a specific condition for. So this is more of a normal rule. And I'm going to say, well, let's prepare for it. Let's prepare for it. We're going to create a new folder that is called new folder. We're going to say, what can we call it? For emails that are coming through that we don't want to read, we don't want to check out, but maybe there might be something useful inside and we don't necessarily want to delete them or put them into the spam folder, right? So something like that, like emails that you're getting that not necessarily related to you, but it's something that it could be that it needs to be saved just in case. So I'm going to call it updates. I'm just going to call it updates, right? So we're going to have a folder called updates that is just a folder created inside of our inbox, right? So we're going to create a rule. Let's create a rule that will forward emails from inbox and automatically put them into updates. All right, let's go back to our rules. All right, add a new rule, and we're going to call them updates. Why not? Same thing, just to kind of keep it the same so it's easier to track. And then we're going to add a condition. So you can set up any condition. So we're going to, pick something. And we're going to, it's good to be very specific. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to say from, and I'm going to add a sender. And I'm going to set a sender that is just this one here. You can put any email that you are that you want. So if you're getting emails from some other department that are just updates on what they're doing and it's not necessarily what's going on with you or related to you, you can specify that email. You can specify email from your manager that you want to read later on that are just updates or whatever it is that you can do. And then you can add other conditions. It doesn't have to be an email. You can add another condition. So we're going to do subject line here, and then we're going to say update. So it could be an email that has a subject line in it, in the subject line that has a word update, which is perfectly fine. So it could be your manager or somebody working on a project or something like that, and they have an update about their project. You can just say use this rule for an email that has a subject line and the word in it is called update. It's named update. Or you can specify from this specific email. And then we're going to add an action, and we're going to say move to, right? So number 3, we're going to add an action to do what are we going to do with these emails that are coming through? We're going to say move to, and then we're going to select the folder, and here's our updates folder. And I'm going to select run rule now because chances are you might have 10, 20, 100 emails with the same conditions that we've set up. So we want to process them right away and then have them go to there right now. And of course, if you change your mind, you can disable your rules, or you can delete them. You can run them again if you want. Okay, I feel like that covers that. And I'm going to say reply to customer. I'm going to say, well, I already talked to Madhuri, so I'm not going to introduce myself. So I'm just going to say, please check the rules settings inside the Outlook. To make sure that incoming emails are not auto deleted / moved. And this is something you would check on customers or users' computer, check all these settings, obviously, but we're going to keep it moving, so we're going to close the ticket, but then again, don't close tickets until they're resolved or you've at least followed up twice, in my opinion. So we're just going to keep moving because, we got a lot of tickets to work on. All right, here's another ticket from Javier. Unentered space when emails are sent out in Outlook 2000. I guess that's a typo there. So maybe 2010 or something. Doesn't matter. Hello? Thank you, Javier, for submitting a ticket. I'm trying to help a user who mentioned to me that when she sends out an email and receives a reply, and it's an email inside or outside of company, so regardless whether she sends an email to inside the company or outside, that her last sentence contains a lot of spaces, about 4 to 5 spaces until her email signature displays. Oh, okay. We use the email signature system SafeSend to automatically apply email signatures to the user after the email leaves our network. So they're using an add-on to create these email signatures. Once I logged into her computer and checked her Outlook, I didn't see anything unusual. Plus, SafeSend disables the ability for users to edit their email signature. Why would they? Well, that was the first thing I thought about. Why would this plugin disable the ability for users to edit their email signatures manually? Then how are they set up? Wow, okay. Let me see if I can find this. It's called SendSafe. We're definitely going to talk about each of these things. SafeSend. All right. Is this something that just comes from the market? SafeSend. Yeah, this is something you have to add on later on. Outlook plugin. I'm just looking to see what this plugin is, but definitely this needs to be just edited or modified somehow so it doesn't show the spaces. I'm definitely, don't worry, I'm definitely going to explain what the ticket means here. Oh, okay. So what this is, this looks like some kind of encryption add-on. Okay, so it encrypts emails, and unfortunately, okay, let me talk about it here. So when you create an email, this is what's going on. You type in, this is my email to Bob Bobson. I don't know if you guys remember Bob Bobson from my Office 365 videos. Please read the message below. Very important. Doesn't matter. And then here is my signature and Kobuman Irvin. And then I'm going to say, just specify where you work. youtube.com/Kobuman, cosmicnovo.com, which is my website. So here, this part here is the signature. What Javier is talking about here is that when they're using this add-on called SafeSend, what this add-on is doing is encrypting emails from the looks of it. It's encrypting emails so that way, on the other hand, and Javier can correct me on this in the comments below, or send a reply to this email, reply to this ticket, which I'm going to keep open, is that when you send an encrypted email, the recipient has to have a way to open it as well, and they also have to have this type of add-on installed on their computer, and they have to set it up on their way in such a way that it confirms that the email is encrypted. They have to have a way to decrypt it, to read the message. So this is encryption for the purpose of security when you're sending encrypted data. So I'm going to leave that explanation at that point here and just kind of move on here. But the issue here is that her last sentence contains a lot of spaces, about 4 to 5 spaces, until her email signature display. So what's going on here from the looks of it, from what I understand, instead of just seeing here my signature, Kobuman, right away after the body of email, which is this here, this is the body of the email, instead of seeing it right away, which makes more sense, what must be going on is like this. So, and this is part of the add-on itself that's causing this. A lot of times this empty space here is used by images or something, or this and that, logos of company logos, blah blah blah. This is empty space that's been allocated by the add-on that's currently unused or is not configured to be used. Therefore, there's a block here of unused space where something's supposed to go. It's like making a web page and creating a block for things to go there, but actually leaving it empty. It's kind of like that. So unfortunately, and I know you can't edit this add-on, but what I can suggest is that you go inside of the add-on. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this add-on specifically. I just know that it's used for encrypting the emails. And you're going to have to go to the settings and look to see if there's an option that would actually fill in that part or disable this part that you don't need to use at all. So I would go inside of the add-on and look at these settings and make sure there's no option in there for filling in this part of it. Because otherwise, it kind of looks like to me, if you're looking at the GUI of an add-on and you can say, that one part of it is type in your signature, automatic signature, right? Sort of like this here. If I go to settings, Outlook settings, and look for the signature right here, and email signature right here. And, you type in, let's see, do I have it? I'm just going to copy over what I had here. Outlook signature. By the way, there's nothing wrong with using a search inside of any program because it's easier to find. If you know what you're looking for, you don't have to necessarily spend time looking through these menus because it could be a menu after menu after menu. Just search for it if you have an option. So I'm going to call it my signature. So something like this would be inside of the add-on, and then you type it in, and that's fine. But make sure that there's no other options in here that would create that blank space. So look through and look for any blank space that might be causing any of the menus might be checked. Like this here, show joyful animations in the reading pane. You can disable this. You can disable all of this crap that's in between. And then you just save it. So again, it's going to look a little bit different because it's an add-on, but go in and check these things. So I'm going to say this. Please go inside of the, what's it called again? SafeSend? Was it SafeSend? Please go inside of the SafeSend add-on and make sure there is no other option enabled that will add space where it's not needed. I'm going to say please watch my video for details. But let me provide a little bit more because you will see this. You will see this before I've released a video. For example, next to signature, check to see if other options can be disabled that may that may occupy occupy the space. Let me see here. Please go inside of the SafeSend add-on to make sure there is no other option enabled that will add space where it's not needed. Add blank space where it's not needed. Dot dot. For example, next to signature, check the save other options can be disabled. They may occupy the space. Please watch my video for details. And I'm going to keep this open because I'm curious about this. Every time I'm not familiar with something in regards to new add-ons or whatever, I want to know what that is because I'm also learning things. Everything I talk about is just comes from personal experience, and you guys will get to that point as well where you just experience so many different things that you can have a really good idea on how to fix something else and where to look for these issues. All right, that was 2 lengthy tickets about Outlook that I try to show in detail as much as possible for y'all benefit and for my benefit as well. It's a good refresher for me. Let's see, do I have it in me? Yeah, I got a couple more tickets from Javier. I'm going to leave them for the next time, which is fine because I've done multiple tickets for Javier, and you always want to work the tickets that are the oldest. They've been sitting around for the longest. That kind of rhymed actually. But I said I was going to talk about Outlook, so we're going to move on to the next Outlook and come back to Javier on other tickets later. This Outlook is very slow, and this ticket is from, I don't know if I can pronounce this properly, so I apologize. Sri Kansiba Sri Chandan. Thank you very much for submitting this ticket. Outlook very slow. Create new profile, still the same. I mean, create new profile, still the same. I mean, that's one of the steps you can do to resolve slow Outlook issues. If you created a new profile, meaning that if it's an Outlook installed on your computer, and if you go to control panel in here, and I apologize, on this specific computer, I don't have desktop version of Outlook installed because I don't have the license basically at this point. But in here there will be and by the way, if your control panel looks different, that's because it's either set up like this is by default, but you can change the view by large category or small icons, doesn't matter. But in here there will be an option called email. And this is where you would change email local profile for Outlook specifically. It's your Outlook profile specifically, which takes the information from the domain controller. Older way of doing things, which is fine. Still, companies are still using it, although everything is going to the cloud platform. You know, this person actually did go in and create a new profile, which can solve issues sometimes when it's a corrupted profile, when emails are not working, this and that. But it still didn't work. Outlook is very slow. So what can you do here? Well, you know, you can check the performance of the computer, go to Task Manager, and check the performance. See if there is anything in the background that's causing a lot of CPU usage. Check the Performance tab here. Look for the CPU usage. See if you have enough memory. See if you have enough disk space. See if you're running out of space. Another thing that can cause slowdown is that if you have archives, large archives that are locally stored, very large. I've seen archives that are like 50, 60 gigabytes, maybe even 100 gigabytes in size. And these are local archives, not to be confused with archives that are online. These are online archives in this Outlook web version. For the desktop version of Outlook, for example, like this is pseudo kind of an Outlook, but it's not real Outlook. But you know, it's not Office Outlook. This is just a regular Outlook. And if you create an archive locally, it will store it as a PST file. And these can be super large. And if your local storage is slow and it's a large file, which is called PST, it will be stored inside, typically, you can change this, but typically it will be inside of your local profile. So here it is, users, Kobuman. This is my local profile that I'm logged in as. I'm logged in as Kobuman into this computer. So this is inside of my local profile, and there's C users. If you look at app data, it could be anywhere. You could put this in documents if you want, or your PST file can be stored inside of documents, or the PST file can be stored somewhere on a remote server. So that's something to think about. Some people keep their PST files, which are locally created archives that are stored locally on a computer. Some people actually move them to a network location. So for example, if I just scroll here and look at the network here, look at all these computers that are connected in this. So we got Koboman, we got Stream, we got a TS client, network computers that are set up. You can have a network drive and people storing archives on a network drive. If you're doing tech support, please let me know. I'm curious if you guys also seen this, that are already working help desk and this and that. The people attaching a network stored archives into their Outlook. So they would have Outlook open. Let me open up the web version because it looks more like a desktop version. And they would have an archive added as a folder in here that is huge, but that archive is located somewhere on the network. So now suddenly things are slowing down because the network drive might be slow. So what else can we talk about here? Outlook very slow. You create a new profile, still the same. It could be a connection issue. Check their VPN. If they're working from home, usually aside from just not being able to process things locally, your computer not being fast enough to process things, if it's still slow and you haven't specified what do you mean slow? Is it the whole desktop application that it's slow? Are the emails taking forever to process? Is there a huge delay? This and that. These could be connection issues between the Outlook and the Exchange server, which is, the server that deals with emails sending back and forth. So test the connection. It could be their VPN, this and that. Let me start replying to you because I may forget some of these things that I've mentioned. Hello, I've never talked to this person before. This is Irvin with PC support. Please check below. Number 1, check performance of the computer used. Number 2, check for local .pst. This is the extension of those locally stored archives on your computer, which could be huge. Check for local PST location/size. Number 3. What did I say here? Number 3. Oh yeah. Check VPN connection speeds if using VPN from home. And 4, check the connection between computer and Exchange server. So all I can do at this point, let me scroll this up a little bit here, is give you suggestions. Please watch video for more tips. All I can do at this point is give you some ideas on how to troubleshoot this. So let me just kind of touch on this last thing that I talked about. Check the connection between the computer and Exchange server. And you can check the latency, and it's simply done by this: ping outlook.com, or whatever it is that server, the location of the server that you're connecting to, right? The location of the Exchange server. Chances are, if it's a desktop computer, that desktop version of Outlook, I should say, not the web version necessarily, that the server for this email server will be located something specifically on your company's network. So you need to find out what that is. It could be ping Bob's server for Outlook.com. That could be the name of your domain where your server is located. Or it could be just an IP address. I don't know. But what you're looking for here is, oh wow, this actually works. Look at this. No way. Is this a real? This is just a pure guess. Look at this. It's a real server that I just pinged. What are the chances? Oh my god. I totally was just making up this thing. This is a real. Oh wow, what are the chances? That's amazing. Anyways, what you're looking for, if you get a response, and you can set up a ping to ping like not just 4 times, you can set up to do you ping 40 times. What you're looking for is latency issues if your Outlook is slow. So look at the time for the response for each ping. Because if this goes about like 100 or so, then it's too slow, right? Or if it's erratic. If you see suddenly 25, 100, 300, 400, then back to 27, there's a connection issue, latency issue. I cannot believe this is a real server. Wow. Guys, I don't know if I should say this. I was going to say check it out to see if this is a real website. But I can't recommend it because I don't know what this is. It could be some kind of a, I don't know, for safety reasons I cannot check this, but I mean I can, but I don't want to because I want to move on. But if you guys want to, let me know. Let me know what you find about this. Let me know. This is what a pure guess. I'm gonna leave this open and hopefully get a response. Okay. Do I have it in me for another one? No, because there's one more Outlook ticket here. There's one more Outlook ticket here, but I feel like I'm reaching my limit of being very outgoing, very excited about this. So I feel like this is a good time to kind of leave it at this. And there's one more Outlook ticket. It's okay. We're going to have it for later on because I'm looking at these other tickets and there really are no other Outlook tickets. And it's always good to talk about Outlook. Unless you had enough of Outlook, which in this case, I've had enough of Outlook for today. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to people who became members. I really appreciate it. Do I ever say this? If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe because I always have videos like this. I never, almost never say subscribe to my own channel aside from the second channel that I've created. That one is more important. If you're going to subscribe, please subscribe to my second channel just to kind of get that going. All right, thank you so much, guys. You've been wonderful. I see the comments, and the comments are nothing but supportive. It means so much. I honestly am saying this. It's such a huge motivator. I don't make money. Like, it's not I don't make money on these videos. It's just that it's very little. You know what I mean? It's like enough for me to buy coffee or something like that. Even if it's been like few thousand views, So I do this because it's a pleasure and I love to help people in this sense. And I love it. And I love it when people come back and say, man, this helps me. And because that's the whole point. This is just me sharing my mind, me sharing my knowledge for the purpose of just talking about. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this all the way to the end, I actually reached out to, just kind of a side story for the end of this video. I reached out to CompTIA people that provide certifications, and I asked them if they wanted me to promote their certifications. And guess what they said? They said, too bad, so sad, no. And I'm like, why? People that watch my videos are into IT. They may be interested in these certifications because some companies are actually asking for these certifications. And they said no, because you are our competitor. They told me I was their competitor. And I didn't get it at first. I'm like, how am I a competitor? But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, I guess I am, because I'm giving out everything for free. And their business is to charge people. And I've actually made some videos. I think I have 3 or 4 videos on CompTIA certifications, which are based off their free test or practice tests that they give. And boy, do they word their stuff sketchy. It's very sketchy in a very confusing way. And it's obviously set up so that way you are kind of forced to retake the test multiple times because it's very confusing. If you want to check those out, those videos, they're actually very entertaining. I have a playlist somewhere where it's listed CompTIA or something like that. I'll have it come up at the end of this video if I don't forget. If I forget, please let me know, and I'll add it, and I'll give you the. And I try to be serious about those videos that I made, but it kind of turned into a joke. But nonetheless, I was gonna recommend those certifications only because companies are asking for it. CompTIA has been around forever, and the employers were looking for these certifications. So I was like, should I recommend this and that? Maybe they have an affiliate program, or maybe I can make some money off of this. I mean, just real talk, right? This is why I contacted them, and of course I would have helped people maybe get those vouchers and this and that, make it so it's cheaper for people to take. And they said I was a competitor. So too bad, so sad. That's basically what they said. All right, whatever. Either way, it's fine by me. I was just trying to help out, but that's fine. Their loss, I guess. All right, thank you so much for watching. I wish you best to you and your family, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.